I grew up in a quiet neighborhood where nothing exciting ever really happened, but across the street from my house stood an old, abandoned property that everyone in the neighborhood avoided. The windows were always boarded up, and the front lawn was overgrown with weeds taller than a man. One night, when I was about 16, I stayed up late in my room playing games on my computer. Around 1:30 am, I got up straight and happened to glance out my bedroom window, which faced the old house. For the first time in years, I noticed a faint light clicking inside. I stared for a while, thinking maybe I was imagining it. But then I clearly saw someone walk past the upstairs window. At first, everyone knew that house had been abandoned for at least a decade. I tried to shake it off, telling myself it was probably just scooters. But then I realized something terrifying. The upstairs windows were still boarded up. Whoever I saw wasn't behind the boards, they were in front of them, which meant they were in my reflection. My heart started pounding as I backed away from the window, but I couldn't stop myself from looking again. This time, I saw a face, pale, with hollow black eyes, staring at me from inside the house across the street. I shut my blinds and tried to convince myself I was just overtired. Eventually, I managed to fall asleep. The next morning, I told my mom what I saw. She shook her head and said the house had no electricity, no running water, and nobody had keys to it anymore. But later that night, I was woken again, not by light, but the sound of footsteps inside my own house. Slow, deliberate steps coming up the stair towards my room. When I gathered the courage to open my door, no one was there. But across the street, the light in the abandoned house flickered again, brighter than before. And in that upstairs window, I swear I saw myself standing there watching. My sophomore year of college, I shared an off-campus apartment with my roommate, Daniel. He was the type who always stayed up late, so when I came home one night around 2 am and saw his bedroom light on, I wasn't surprised. I quietly went into my room, got ready for bed, and as I was lying down, I heard him moving around, his footsteps pacing back and forth, the creak of his desk chair. At one point, I even heard him cough. But in the morning, when I knocked on his door to see if he wanted breakfast, no one answered. I pushed the door open at first. The room was completely empty. His bed was perfectly made. His desk was clear, and none of his clothes were in the closet. It looked like no one had lived there in weeks. Confused, I called him. His number went straight to voicemail. I texted a few mutual friends, and they all said the same thing. Daniel had gone home to visit his family 2 weeks ago. I swore I heard him pacing in that room just hours earlier. That night, I was determined to prove I wasn't losing my mind. I stayed awake, laying in dark, listening around 1:30 am. I heard it again. Footsteps in Daniel's room. Slowly, heavy footsteps moving from one side to the other. I walked up, the courage to peek under the crack of his door. I saw shadows moving. I called out to Daniel. The footsteps stopped instantly. The silence that followed was worse than the sound itself. Then something pressed against the other side of the door. The wood bent slightly, as if someone was laying their full weight into it. I backed away, my heart racing. After a long minute, the pressure eased. The footsteps started again, but this time they were walking toward my room. I locked my door and didn't sleep at all. When morning finally came, I rushed to the landlord to ask if anyone had a key to that room. He looked at me strangely and said, "Kid, no one's rented that room for months. You are the only tenant in that unit." But every single night after that, until I moved out, I heard the pacing in Daniel's empty room.